Today we're taking a look at another multi-effects pedal. This time it's a collaborative effort between Third Man Hardware, Donner, and Jack White. Yes, that Jack White. This is the Triple Threat. Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan. Welcome to my Pink Room of Doom. As always, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me for this video, and thank you Donner for sponsoring this video. This is the Triple Threat pedal. This is a multi-effects pedal that will cost you under $100 or about $100, $99.99 on Amazon, however you want to look at that. And if you're a beginner, this is a great option to get into effects or just building your pedal board. Or if you're just a guitar player on a budget and need something that's a little bit different, the Donner Triple Threat has you covered. Jack White was directly involved with developing the effects that are in this pedal, which you get an echo, which is like a delay, same thing, right? You get a phaser, which is really cool because a lot of effects don't generally come with phasers or they're kind of overlooked. And then obviously you're going to get your distortion, all of those with their own individual controls via these little knobs at the top of each effect. It runs on 9-volt power, which as you saw in the unboxing, does come with its own 9-volt power supply. But if you have a power supply on your board or you have a daisy chain, something like that, this will fit right in. But don't take my word for it. On Reverb, the limited edition version of this pedal, which it's a yellow one, and I think they're only $109, those bad boys sold out in the first day. This thing topped the multi-effects pedal list in just 3 days, and worldwide across the network, these things sold out in just 5 days from release, because this is a relatively new pedal from Donner as of recording this video. That is extremely impressive, and I think, if anything, that speaks for itself before we even plug this thing in. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, you're just being biased because they sent you this pedal and you're just saying good things about it. Well, no, I'm actually a fan of Donner. I have pedals from Donner that live on my pedal board all the time. I never take these off. This, well, except for this time, but this is just to show you. I have a Donner Reverb and a Donner Delay, and these are really solid little pedals. And I bought these myself. They didn't send these to me. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and see what the Triple Threat from Donner can do. We're going to mic it up on my Blackstar cab. I'll even plug it into my interface and show you that you can get some pretty decent tones out of that too if you decide to go that route and direct record it, because you can if you know what you're doing. All right, so you may or may not be able to see behind me, but that is the amp that I'm using in the cabinet. It's a Blackstar HD5 head with a cabinet. It's just a Blackstar 212 cabinet. I do have the Donner Triple Threat right here with another camera pointing right down on it so you can see the settings and stuff as we change it and go through it. I'm obviously wireless with the mic. I will try to move that out of the way and lean in as I need to. And I have my Gibson SG61 here helping me deliver some delicious tones to your ear holes. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with the Donner pedal. But first, let's take a look at my clean, unsaturated, just sparkly tone straight out of the amp. So you know we already have the basis of a good tone. So let's go ahead and mess with the echo first. So this is the delay. So you're just going to engage the delay like that. We're going to put everything at noon. As you can see, I was already messing around with it a little bit earlier. But we'll go ahead and set everything to noon so we don't forget to do it later on. Echo, echo, echo. So right off the bat, that's a pretty solid delay. Obviously, you have the time here. You can make it go longer or shorter. The amount of feedback, basically just how intense that it is, right? And then the level, adding to that intensity, obviously how much of it is actually in your tone here. So there's the delay. Here's the phaser. Make sure all that's in the middle. Let's see what the phaser sounds like. And I promise I know how to play other stuff. I will play some more stuff here in just a minute when we get to that third button down there. But the phaser is really smooth, really soft, mainly because we have it in the middle, but it's really smooth right now, generally all around. I did crank all of the knobs here earlier when I was just kind of messing with it myself. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you. I mean, it can get pretty intense. We'll keep the level where it's at just because I feel like that's okay where it's at now. But let's crank it and see what it sounds like when you get real crazy with the phaser. Somebody call Jonathan Davis because I think I just wrote the intro to another Korn song. Not really, but it kind of gives me like Falling Away From Me kind of vibes with it cranked all the way up. If you were to play that, obviously I'm not going to because I don't want to get copyright strikes, but you know, I digress. So there's the phaser. We'll turn the phaser off, and you can obviously have all of these engaged all together. We'll do that in just a minute. Here's the distortion. Again, everything just kind of at noon. We may have to mess with the volume on this a little bit, but here's the distortion, everything at noon. Pretty solid distortion. It's not going to be the heaviest thing in the world, even with the gain cranked. Like I said, it's about halfway. But to me, it's not really a distortion as much as it is kind of like, it's got like a distorted, obviously, sound to it, but it's more like a fuzz in my eyes, especially when you crank it. It can get a little fuzzy. I do like to keep my tones up a little bit to bring out more of the high-end stuff, but let's go ahead and crank the gain, see what that sounds like. Funny how I still managed to throw that same riff in there, but it can get pretty dirty. You got a little bit of a fuzz element in there, whether that's intentional or not, or maybe I'm just hearing things. Either way, I think it's a very usable tone directly into an amp recorded with a mic. You could totally put this on any pedal board and it would get the job done. Am I a legend now for hitting the national anthem with all those effects like Jimi Hendrix was? Now, I did promise you that I would put it through my interface and show you what it sounds like through there. You can use this if you're going to record direct, say. To me, it's probably not going to sound as good. But again, if you kind of know what you're doing, you can make it work, right? All you got to do is load up an IR loader. You don't need an amp sim because you'll when you hit the distortion, it'll just sound like that playing an IR through an IR kind of thing, like you have too many loaded. So don't do that. Just get an IR loader, load it up on there, plug this thing directly into your interface, and you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and see what that sounds like. So here we are, kind of awkwardly placed because I've got a camera here and I've got the camera here, hello, on the pedal. So I've also got my screen recorder going, so I'm going to kind of go back and forth here. But I'm going to show you that you can now use the Donner triple threat directly into an interface or, you know, whatever. The only thing you'll really need is an impulse response loader, which fortunately there are a ton of them that are free, along with a lot of really great sounding free impulses, kind of like this one right here, Lancaster Audio's Pulse. This is not, they're not sponsoring this, that's just the one I always use, but again, there are a million of them. Go check out ones you like. I use this one all the time. I have a V30 and a greenback that I've kind of blended more in favor of the V30. Just a little side note here, if you don't like the way that this sounds through this, you can blame me for my choice of impulse responses. Don't blame the pedal. The pedal sounds great. You heard through a real amp, real tube amp, all that kind of stuff. As everyone likes to say, tube amps sound better, right? You heard that it sounds fine. So blame me, blame my choice of crappy IRs, I guess. But over here on this camera, hello again, I just have my guitar going in here. I have the pedal going right out here into my interface, which is a Focusrite 2i2. So there you go. So let's go ahead and see what this sounds like. Again, we'll just kind of fiddle around with it as we go. We'll start off with my pure clean tone without the pedal on, and then we'll kind of mess with it from there. There's that riff again for you guys. Let's mess with the pedal. Sounds great with some distortion. Let's go ahead and mess with the echo and the phaser. And there you have it, folks. It works just as well through an interface. I'm not going to sit and bore you more with some crappy playing, but you get the gist that it sounds just as good. And of course, again, you can craft your tone using whichever IR you want. Go download the Lancaster Audio Pulse IR loader and go find some free IRs online, or go pay for some. I really don't care either way, but just get you one that sounds good, and it'll work very, very well with the Donner triple threat. I'm very, very impressed with this little unit. And I do mean little. I mean, it's only 3 effects. It's distortion, echo, phaser. It's kind of targeted, I guess, if that's really what you're looking for, but I really like it. I mean, I'll use it. You know, I said that about a lot of the other stuff. All the other stuff that I review that I sit and say I like, I use it. I use that Legato Tank G all the time. The one that everybody crapped on and said that, like, oh, it didn't sound good. I mean, I use it all the time. People are like, oh, it sounds good. It's the Legato Tank G, folks. Just like in the future, I'll probably use this. And you'll be like, oh, it sounds good. What is it? It's the Donner triple threat. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I did. I enjoyed making it a lot. And thank you very much, Donner, for sending this product out to me to check out. I hope to have more Donner products featured on the channel. Like I said, I already own 2 that I bought, and I use them daily. They're great. This thing is built to last, as are all the Donner products. So make sure you check the links in the description if you want to go pick one up for yourself. I highly recommend it. Go do that. And make sure you subscribe, like this video, and all that other kind of stuff. Do the good YouTube stuff. That helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. I think Donner would appreciate it if you go and pick one of these up. I would too. They're not affiliate links, but I would still appreciate it. Tell them I sent you. Make sure you subscribe. Stick around for more videos. There's a lot more coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.